Good morning, good morning. It is Gratitude Monday. Super happy to come on this morning. Very, very thankful for today. I actually did not know what I was going to talk about this morning until someone approached me and asked me a question early this morning. And they asked if their daughter could come to just observe me or ask me questions because she is considering going into physical therapy as a career. So good morning, Joelle. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Good morning, Amber. Thanks for tuning in. And so it dawned on me this morning because when this person asked me if their daughter could come and shadow me, she asked a question that I'd actually never even considered. She asked, would you mind if my daughter come and shadow? Do you do anything like that? Are you open to having a student ask you questions? And I'll be honest, it never actually ever crossed my mind not to help a student, not to answer questions of someone who may be considering to go into my field. And I thought about that because as I was talking to this parent, and I was telling her, look, she doesn't just want to observe me and ask me questions. She wants to go, or she should go and ask other physical therapists in different settings. Someone who is working, a physical therapist in the hospital, a physical therapist in another outpatient clinic, a physical therapist who works with pediatrics, and so forth. And then she asked me the question, she goes, are people willing to have a student come in? And, because of HIPAA laws and regulations and things. And it just never even dawned on me that a physical therapist would say no. And I thought about that, and in my 20 plus years as a physical therapist, I thought, I don't know of any therapist who has ever turned down a student observing them. Now, it's quite a bit of a different situation, a student coming in for a day and observing. That's not, I don't ever hear of anybody not taking on a student in that way. I do know therapists who won't mentor a student for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks on like a clinical rotation. I do know that. Good morning, Neelam. Thank you for joining this morning. And that's understandable because depending on the caseload of the therapist and depending on, their personal circumstances and stuff, they may not want to take on a responsibility for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. But I thought, I never ever considered the fact that someone would not be open to mentoring someone. And it's probably because I have had amazing mentors. And I am so appreciative. I can think of my junior high band director, Michael Mary. He was a mentor to me. I can think of my high school band director, Larry Welch. Larry Welsh was a amazing mentor to me through high school. Mr. Al Rizzo, my biology teacher, he was the one who actually encouraged me in science and really was instrumental in my career because I always wanted to be a veterinarian since I was 5. But then around 7th, 8th grade, I thought, I really like the technical side of things and I like architecture. I like building. So I was actually switching my mindset into potentially a career in architecture and in building and not necessarily construction, but architecture, engineering, that type of thing. And my freshman year, Mr. Al Rizzo really encouraged me in science. And then I started taking anatomy and physiology. And I just fell back in love with science. So then I ended up pursuing pre-veterinary medicine in college, and I had my sensitivity to cats actually became a full-blown allergy where my eyes were swelling shut. So I had to switch from pre-vet to pre-med. I hated pre-med, but I liked sports, I liked medicine. So then I went into sports medicine, athletic training, and then that became physical therapy for me. And I had great mentors in college as well. Good morning, Lynn. Thanks for joining in. I had great mentors in college. Norman Parr, he was a mentor to me again in the band. He was a band director at Xavier University. I had Jody Jenicky. She was the head athletic trainer at Xavier University, and she mentored me as an athletic training student. And then I had Mary Romanello, who was a physical therapist in an outpatient clinic that mentored me and helped encourage me to pursue physical therapy. And then while I was in physical therapy, I had clinical instructors that mentored me. My brain is not working this morning. I'm not remembering last names, but I had a mentor named Heidi, and I had a mentor named Dana, and I had other amazing mentors at Chestnut Hill Hospital in Philadelphia who were great to me when I had my clinical rotation. And I also had, when I first started my physical therapy career, I had amazing mentors where I worked. I can think of Eloise Schneider. She and I worked together. Good morning, Gary. Thanks for coming on. Eloise was great mentoring me. We worked late together. We both worked 10 to 6:30 p.m. at the TriHealth Health and Fitness Pavilion when I first started my career in Cincinnati. She was a tremendous physical therapy mentor to me, who started me thinking a little bit outside of the box on how to treat patients, that I didn't have to check everything off my checklist, that if I just listened to patients, they would tell me what was wrong with them. That's brilliant, right? But when you come out of school, you often are thinking, oh, I've got all these things I have to assess. And sometimes you don't have to assess as much as you think you do, because the patient is telling you what is wrong with them. And when they tell you what is wrong with them, you can just do the tests that they're describing, but you're doing them formally. And so Eloise was a tremendous mentor to me. And then later on, Rhoda Farr, she also showed me how to even think out of the box more and get really amazing results with my patients. So all these mentors that I've mentioned, in addition, Douglas Nelson, who founded the Precision Neuromuscular Therapy Technique, which is a medical massage technique, that took my physical therapy manual skills to like the next level. It was amazing, the results I started to get when I combined the medical massage techniques with my physical therapy background. Good morning, Aries. Thank you for tuning in. And just all these mentors were so integral to shaping me as not just a physical therapist, not just as someone who gets amazing results for their patients, but also as a person of integrity, of honor, of honesty, of being trustworthy. Just, they exemplified what a professional in a career that they loved and were passionate about really represented. And it encouraged me and it inspired me, because these were amazing mentors. So when this person asked me this morning, would I be open to mentoring her daughter for a day, the thought never even crossed my mind to say no, because I always had mentors who said yes to me. And when they said yes to me, they were saying no to maybe somebody else, or they were saying no to some of the time that they would have had free, but they chose to spend it with me and spend time on me because they felt I was worth it. And that's what I'm so thankful to the people who have paved the way before me. And there's someone on here too, Lynn Steffies. She is a great person in the physical therapy field. She does a lot for the state of Wisconsin. So I want to give a shout out to her because she's actually on here watching. And a reason I say that is she does so many things that are behind the scenes for our profession that is just encouraging and it's inspiring. And she's also a person who's thinking outside the box in the field of physical therapy. So I appreciate her because as a resident of Wisconsin now and as a physical therapist in Wisconsin, she is working on my behalf. And so thank you, Lynn. I just want to give you a shout out because you are an amazing talent and you do a lot of things and you've helped me through emails and answering questions. So since you're on here, I had to give you a super amount of gratitude for all that you do. But there's just people every day that when you think about it today and you go through your day, who has inspired you? Who has mentored you? Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a professional, maybe it's somebody who helped you get into your career, maybe it's just somebody who took time to spend with you and make you and develop you into the person that you are today or trying to be. Whichever it is, reach out to them today, give them a shout out and say thank you, because I would argue that most people where they are today, when they've had success, they didn't do it alone. They had some great people along the way, whether they were teachers, whether they were friends, whether they were colleagues, whether they were professors or family members. Most of us have had some really great people along the way to guide us and steer us in the right direction and then help us pursue what we're super passionate about. Oh, okay, sorry. Facebook was telling me all right, I better wrap this up. It's saying that I'm losing a connection. So anyway, I appreciate all of those who have come before me. And when somebody asks if you can mentor them, think about that. Think about the time that people have invested in you. And I encourage you to take that on. You know, maybe it's just a little responsibility. Maybe it's a big responsibility. But reach out to a mentor that you've had today and say thank you. There are way other mentors that I've had. Currently, there's two guys, Alex Engar and Will Boyd. They are helping me kind of learn the marketing side of physical therapy and connect with people and get out of my comfort zone a little bit. Greg Todd is my business mentor. I would be remiss if I did not thank him, because I've been with him for 2 years with him mentoring me, and he is an amazing talent in his own right. As an owner of 3 physical therapy clinics and online businesses, he's just super cool, and he also pushes me to pursue things greater than I could have ever even imagined. And so I am very, very thankful today for all the mentors. And when you go throughout today, think about who mentored you and reach out to them and say thanks. Give a great day today. God bless. Love you all.